Hello, I'm Dr. Russell Dawn, President of Concordia University Chicago. Thank you for tuning in to today's Cougar Athletics broadcast. We take great pride in the strength of both our athletic and academic programs, which are rooted in our steadfast commitment to Jesus Christ. Dedicated to the liberal arts as a foundation of a high-quality college degree, we believe education should form individuals for service to their neighbors. This makes Concordia Chicago an exciting and fulfilling place to study, work, learn, and grow. Learn more today by visiting cuchicago.edu. Thank you, and go Cougars!
Hello, Cougar Nation, and welcome to Geisman Gymnasium here at Concordia University, Chicago on Wednesday night for some women's basketball action. Concordia Chicago Cougars taking on the visiting Edgewood College Eagles as the Cougars look to snap at what is now a 10-game losing streak. And we'll start off talking about those Cougars themselves, currently coming off of a 66-45 loss right here at home against Wisconsin Lutheran College this past Saturday in a game where the Cougars struggled to shoot and struggled to keep possession of the ball.
Yeah, that was a bit of an ugly game for the Cougars, offensively and also defensively. But the big player to watch coming out of that game is Anaya Hinton-Henry. She was the only Cougar that shot over 35%, and she shot 100%. She was 4 for 4 from the field, plus 2 free throws and 7 rebounds, all in just 23 minutes. So hoping the Cougars can get another very productive game out of her tonight.
Absolutely. The Cougars have had problems with diversifying their scoring. They were led in scoring that game by Michaela Ellis with 15 points. On the flip side, though, Edgewood, another team having a solid season in the NAC, 4-2 in conference play, 8-7 on the season, and they're coming off of a big win, 76-63 over Lakeland University at home this past Saturday, and there were some big stat lines coming out of that game for the Eagles. Norby led that squad, 23 points, but it was Vivian Guerrero with 21 points who had probably the most impressive performance.
Yeah, like you said, she had 21 points, and to go with that, she also had 14 rebounds. So that makes her 6th double-double of the season. First one of 2025, breaks a little bit of a slump she's been in, but yeah, she was almost everywhere last game.
Absolutely, and that spells a lot of trouble for the Cougars. CUC, a lot of struggles in the paint on the season. Edgewood, they love the paint, they love the perimeter. Lots of threats that can come from this Edgewood offense. But as we get ready to go here, Eric, Edgewood looking to move it up to 5-2 conference. The Cougars looking to get out of a double digits losing streak. What does CUC have to do here to maybe get it done?
It's going to come down to the turnover margin. In the last game, they had 24 turnovers compared to Wisconsin Lutheran's 7. That's a minus 17 on the game. They have to improve that here tonight, cause some more turnovers, cause some less for themselves if they want to be able to hang with Edgewood.
Absolutely. And for me, I want to focus, the Cougars need to focus on offensive rebounding. Tough game to focus on that going into with a player like Vivian Guerrero. The Cougars, they will be at a size disadvantage tonight, but no offensive rebounds in that Wisconsin Lutheran game, and it very obviously hurt CUC. Too many second chances for Wisconsin Lutheran, not enough for the Cougars. So that's something that the Cougars will improve on. And Charlie T, you think the Cougars got a chance of winning this one? You do?
Yeah.
Cougars definitely in it with a chance. And we'll look at that history real quick here before we go. 7-16, Cougars have won 7, Edgewood's won 16, and it's only a 1-game winning streak for the Eagles. Won last year's matchup 63-46 on January 31st of 2024. The Cougars, they'll look to take possession of that series back here tonight in Geisman Gymnasium. I'm Jonathan Shearer, the Cougar Sports Network. Joining me tonight will be Eric Perry. We'll go away for just a moment. Make sure to join us for tonight's epic matchup between the Cougars and the Eagles. Nation, and welcome to River Forest and Concordia University Chicago here on Wednesday, January 2nd, for tonight's matchup between the Edgewood Eagles and the Concordia Chicago Cougars. The anthem has been played, the starters have been read, and the teams are headed out to the court for tip. Those starters for Edgewood: number 1, Ava Berg; number 5, Kenzie Senfer; number 13, Vivian Guerrero; number 14, Callie Norby; and number 23, Jordan Carlquist. On the Cougars' edge, you see number 4, Michaela Ellis out there for tip. Number 22, Layla Lindley Southern. Number 30, Allie McGregor. And that's number 24, Kalia Reed, who will get the tip off of the hand of Michaela Ellis. You also see Hannah Lopez. She'll be running point to start tonight. Ellis working left, and hand that off to Lopez, ditching into Southern.
Concordia's looking for a big game out of Ellis tonight. She's been good in the last few games. They need her to come up big again tonight.
Now shot clock winding down. Reed having to drive, driving again. Mid-range floater, no good. Short, rebounded by Carlquist. Now Carlquist pushing the pace down, tossing off to Senfer. Senfer struggled in her last time out, only hitting one shot. She'll send that over to Norby, who had 23 last game out. Now into the paint to Guerrero. Norby for 3. No good. Far over the road. And that'll be out of bounds off of the attempted rebound from Berg. And the Cougars will retake possession.
As you said, Senfer, not a great game in her last performance, but Norby, Guerrero, and Carlquist were able to pick up the slack and get them to a relatively easy win over Lakeland.
Ellis swinging over to Reed. Now Reed working back to Southern. Southern gets it into McGregor. McGregor out to Ellis. Ellis working on Norby, slowly moving in, spinning, puts up a shot, no good. Rebound Guerrero. Vivian Guerrero had really an incredible game last time out. 21 points and 14 rebounds as Senfer's 3, no good. The Cougars will take possession back. They'll push the pace again, swinging over to Lopez, and Lopez slowing it down, getting it into McGregor. McGregor, short shot, no good. So now Senfer pushing the pace into Norby. This should be the first bucket of the game, and it is. Callie Norby puts Edgewood on top 2-0.
Norby's one of those players that had a big game against Lakeland, as you mentioned earlier, 23 points. If she can keep rolling like that tonight, Concordia will be very tough to deal with her and Guerrero.
Now Lopez working in, kicking out to McGregor. McGregor over to Reed. And the biggest thing with that is size. The Cougars have one player over 6 foot on their roster as Reed, floater, no good. Rebounded by one of Edgewood's 6-footers, Vivian Guerrero, her second rebound of the game already. Now Guerrero mid-range, pitching over to Berg. Berg up to Senfer. Senfer back to Berg. Berg swinging left to Senfer. Senfer thought about a 3, gets it into Guerrero. Guerrero working mid-range, swings back over to Carlquist. Carlquist for 3, no good. Rebounded by McGregor.
When you have two people that are over 6 feet tall, it is good. It is easy to win the rebound game.
Now Ellis, 3, and Michaela Ellis hits a 3, and the Cougars on top 3-2.
Good shot there by Ellis. Got the ball and just drained a beautiful 3 to give Concordia the early lead.
Carlquist into Guerrero. Guerrero driving, kicks out to Senfer, 3. And no good. Rings around and out. Rebounded by Berg. Norby, chance for the putback. No shot. Looks to be 3 seconds in the paint on Callie Norby. That's a turnover. The Cougars, they'll take possession back with the lead, 3-2. And both teams just struggling to get points up on the board so far. Each team with only 1 bucket made through the first 3.5 minutes.
Yeah, Concordia's had their fair share of scoring droughts, but Edgewood's usually a team that can put up a decent amount of points in a game, so this start is a little bit surprising for them.
Kulig now working in the paint. Shot up and blocked by Guerrero. Now Guerrero quickly pushing down the court, swinging over to Berg. Berg in, tries to get it to Norby, can't. That's another steal for the Cougars. Lopez setting up to Reed. Reed swinging across to Kulig. Mid-range, over the rim, no contact. That'll be easily picked up by Carlquist, so Edgewood another opportunity.
Concordia knows they don't have the height advantage when it comes to this game, so they're going to try to play it quick and get the ball moving around a lot to try to weaken that advantage.
Guerrero into Carlquist, and Edgewood has the lead back. Little mid-range floater for Jordan Carlquist. Carlquist, 14 points last time out. She gets her first 2 of the night here now.
That's
Ellis working on Norby. Over to Reed. Thought about it. Back out to Southern. Lopez to Reed. Over to Ellis. Now Ellis will drive up on Norby, and she will draw the foul.
That'll be our first foul of the game for either team. And so we got Michaela Ellis heading to the line to shoot also the first free throws.
Looks like that foul was tagged on Kenzie Senfner. That's her first of the game as we see our first round of substitutions for Edgewood. Ellis's first free throw is up. That makes it even. Ellis had a solid performance from the charity stripe last time out. 6 for 9 against Edgewood, pushing her into double digits comfortably. As this second shot is up and good, and the Cougars have the lead back 5-4.
It's important to maximize every time you go to the charity stripe. You want to hit at least 1, preferably 2, to take what you're given.
Now Guerrero going to work on Kulik in the paint, and she'll get tagged with a travel. So Edgewood struggling early on with turnovers. Their third of the night. Cougars yet to turn the ball over once. They're doing a great job with that early turnover margin. Lopez kicking over to Ellis. Ellis handing back off to Southern. Southern slinging it into Kulig. Kulig back out to Southern. Southern driving out to Reed. Over to Ellis. Ellis, 3-ball. And in again, Michaela Ellis, 2 for 2 from the range. And the Cougars have a 4-point lead.
Those are 2 beautiful threes by Ellis, and she's got every single one of Concordia's 8 points so far.
And Hannah Lopez going to knock that out of bounds. Stripping that away from Molly Hack. Now Senfner swinging down to Nordier. And to Guerrero. Guerrero driving in, and that's going to be a foul. Should be tagged on Kulig. So that'll send Guerrero to the line.
You mentioned Concordia not having any turnovers. In the conference, these 2 teams are at the bottom and second to last, respectively, in terms of turnovers to turnovers caused. So if Concordia can keep causing turnovers without making a whole lot of their own, that will definitely allow them to stay in this game and hopefully grow their lead.
Guerrero's first free throw is up and in. I mean, you want to talk about how those turnovers impact a game. Last time out for the Cougars against Wisconsin Lutheran, as Guerrero's second free throw is in, the Cougars turned the ball over 24 times. The Warriors only turned it over 7 times. Fewer than 3 times the amount of the Cougars, and nearly doubled the shot attempts of CUC. Obviously, there's some rebounding in there that also impacts that, but turnovers play such a heavy role in your opportunity to put shots up, and the Cougars have struggled with that on the season.
Yeah, if you can't get turnovers, then you can't get the ball back. So the Cougars have to continually keep forcing them.
Lopez, 5 seconds left on the shot clock, has to do something with it. Moving in, long 2. No good, rebounded by Carlquist.
The Cougars have struggled at times this season with getting shots off to avoid the shot clock violation.
Guerrero, floater, no good, rebound Ellis. Lopez slinging to Reed, back out to Lopez, over to Ellis, over to Southern. Ellis now sitting at the 3-point line, slinging into Schneider. Schneider out to Lopez for a 3, high arcer, and in! Splashes in there like a drop of water, and Hannah Lopez gives the Cougars that 5-point lead back.
Concordia's not a great team from deep, but they're 3 for 3 to start tonight. They can keep making them fall like this, they will be very good to go.
Vivian Guerrero back over to Senfner. She'll try and respond, and that'll be off the back of the rim, rebounded by Guerrero. Back over to Nord here, into Guerrero, driving on Schneider, and that's going to be knocked out of bounds off of Ellis.
Good play by Ellis to just get the block there and knock the ball out of bounds. Make sure that Senfer couldn't get the good shot up.
14 seconds left on the shot clock for Edgewood. Inbounding it will be Adrian Kirch. Looking for Nordier. Now Nordier driving in, puts up the mid-range floater, and that'll bounce in and out. Rebounded and put back up by Callie Norby.
Offensive rebounds is something that the Cougars struggled with in the last game. WLC had 19 of them, so Concordia really needs to cut down on allowing offensive rebounds tonight and making sure that Edgewood can't have second chance points.
Ellis over to McGregor. McGregor driving in, kicking out to Reed. Now Reed will drive, sling it over to Lopez. Lopez slinging to Reed. 3. And in! Another one! Cougars 4 for 4 from the range to start this game. They now have a 6-point lead, 14-8.
Whatever Concordia's been doing to improve their three-point shooting, it has been working. 4 for 4 to start the night.
Carlquist trying to find an option, gets it over to Kirsch for 3. No good. Ellis rebounds.
Good play by Ellis to make sure that Hack couldn't get the offensive board there.
Ellis 3. And that breaks the streak, but it's rebounded by Reed, who goes straight back in, gets it to McGregor. Put back no good. That's rebounded by Carlquist.
Don't think Ellis was quite expecting that offensive rebound. She was almost halfway down the court when Reed got it.
Shot up from Nordier from 3, no good, rebounded by McGregor. Edgewood 0 for 7 from 3 to start the game, trying to keep up with the Cougars from range and just unable to do so far. Now Ellis will send that into McGregor, back out to Ellis, and McGregor tagged with the travel, and she knows it. So that is the first turnover of the night on CUC.
You mentioned Edgewood being 0 for 7 for threes. They've only taken 12 total shots. They've taken more threes than 2-point shots, and at some point you got to ask yourself, if the threes aren't falling, maybe it's time to just stick to the 2-point shots.
Back over to Norby, over to Nordier. Looking in, bounds for Mott. Over to Kirch for 3. That's an air ball out of bounds. That would be another turnover. Cougars will have the inbound. You want to look at just how much a great three-point shooting night can do for an underdog. Look no further. Men's college basketball, but Purdue upset by Ohio State last night. The Buckeyes over 50% from 3 in the second half, and the Cougar and the Boilermakers not. Big part of that upset so far tonight. The Cougars more than 50% from 3. Edgewood 0% from 3, and the Cougars have a 6-point lead as a result of that. Ellis in the corner, over to McGregor, under a minute to go in the corner. Reed looking back to Ellis. Shot clock down to 10, gets it into Hinton Henry. Hinton Henry almost loses it, out to Reed, 3. And in! Kalia Reed, another drop from range, and the Cougars have a 9-point lead.
Edgewood not going to quite get the last shot of the quarter here. There's about a 9-second difference between shot and game clock.
Norby able to get that to Gunderson. Now Kirch for 3. No good again. Out of bounds, Cougar ball. Head coach Cole Vivian is not having a great time on the sideline. His team 0 for 9 from 3 to start the night.
And what you said earlier about threes, not only do they help increase your lead, but they can also be a big, motivating factor. It's like, hey, our shots from deep are dropping. We are doing well. Let's keep this baby going.
And Reed, with 12 seconds left on the game clock, gets it to McGregor, who gets it to Nimsicott. Back over to Reed. Reed, 3 seconds left. Long range shot, no good. Rebounded by nobody. That's how the quarter will end. It's great first quarter of play for the Cougars. Heads them into the second quarter with a 9-point lead. CUC leads the Eagles 17-8 off of a 5 for 6 night from 3 so far. We'll take a short break here on the Cougar Sports Network, but we'll be back in just a moment for more Cougar basketball action. And welcome back to Geisman Gymnasium here on the Cougar Sports Network as we get ready for the second quarter of action. And in that quarter break, head coach Cole Vivian of Edgewood fired up with his team, trying to get them to get their heads back in this game. The Eagles 0 for 9 from 3, 3 for 14 from the field, and currently trailing by 9 to a Cougars offense that has been on fire from range.
Yeah, they've been 5 for 6 from 3 points tonight so far. They're not typically a great three-point shooting team, but they are on it tonight.
And there you see Edgewood trying to work it in, and Wallen's pass just slapped out of bounds by Ellis.
That had a no shot of going Ellis's head. She just rejected that straight into the end of the bench.
Gunderson to inbound for the Eagles. She'll get it into Norby, back to Gunderson. Over to Senfner, over to Berg. Berg into Norby, over the head of McGregor. Slinging out to Senfner for 3. No good again. Rebounded by Norby. Putback is up and no good. Hinton Henry with the rebound. An 0 for 2 trip for Edgewood, and the Cougars show off some great defense again. Now Ellis trying to get something going to Hinton Henry. Back out to Reed. Over to Ellis. Ellis, mid-range, kicks over to Reed. Reed, 3. That's wide right. Rebounded by Hinton Henry. He goes straight back in for a layup. No good. Rebounded by Senfner.
Just the second missed 3 of the night for CUC.
And that's a poor pass leading to a loose ball, and jump ball called by the officials. Possession arrow going the way of the Cougars, so CUC will take possession back.
No points have been scored yet in this second quarter, but so far, just in terms of momentum and feelings, it has gone the way of CUC.
Lopez will run point for the Cougars. Moving right, gets it to Reed. Reed getting it into Ellis. Now Ellis, mid-range, no good. McGregor up for the rebound, and that's knocked out of bounds by Hinton Henry.
I think it's going to stay with Concordia, actually.
So Henry able to hold back from touching the ball. So that is off of Guerrero. Cougars will retain possession. 20 seconds on the shot clock. Hinton Henry looking for somewhere to go. Just sends it out to McGregor. Gives it straight to Reed.
Got to be careful with those inbounds passes when the other team has got 2 6-footers.
Now Reed driving straight in. Puts up the floater. No good. And there is a foul on the floor on the Eagles. That's tagged on Kate Gunderson. So Hinton Henry will inbound for the Cougars. They'll have a reset of the shot clock back up to 20. Hinton Henry looking for somewhere to go, and that's immediately knocked back out of bounds by Wallen.
Now Hinton Henry's going to do inbounds pass. Take number 3.
Gets it into Reed. And Reed will just come across the perimeter over to Ellis. Ellis working on Wallen, 3. And that's going to be a long 2 for Michaela Ellis, but still the Cougars strike first in the second quarter. They now have an 11-point lead.
May only be a deep 2, but hey, 2 points is good, and they'll take it nonetheless.
Senfner getting it to Walling. Into Guerrero. Guerrero double teamed, trying to get out of the corner. Slings it across to Senfner for 3. And that breaks the streak on their 11th attempt. Edgewood gets one to fall from downtown, and they finally break into double digits. It's 19-11.
Yeah, first quarter, they could not buy a 3-pointer. Now that they got one, maybe the rest will start falling.
Hinton Henry gets it to Reed. Back to McGregor. Over to Reed. To McGregor. McGregor for 3. And in! Allie McGregor keeps it right in from CUC, and it's back to an 11-point lead.
McGregor said, hey, you guys want to hit a 3? Fine, I'll hit a 3 of my own.
I mean, she's left wide open at the top of the arc, and McGregor, she's attempted 2 threes in the last 2 games, and she's hit both of them.
Maybe she should start shooting them some more if she can get open.
That's the main thing. If you're going to leave a player that wide open and you have a decent chance at hitting that 3, you're going to take it every time. Now, Nortier fouled in the paint on a shot, so she'll have a chance for 2 free throws. It'll be the second pair of free throws attempted for Edgewood, and Nortier hits the first. That brings it to a 10-point game, looking to make it single digits with this second one. Second shot up and in. Nortier goes 2 for 2 on that trip to the line. Now Lopez bringing it down court for the Cougars, gets it to Southern. Southern kicking over to Reed. Reed, loose pass to McGregor, works out, gets it to Southern. Southern over to Ellis. 10 seconds left on the shot clock. Lopez working in, gets it over to Southern. Southern moving central, floater. No good. Rebounded by McGregor. Second chance shot up and fouled by Vivian Guerrero. That'll send McGregor to the line for the first time tonight.
McGregor doesn't take a whole lot of shots, but she's been good about getting down in the paint and able to contest both offensive and defensive rebounds against the 2 6-footers for Edgewood tonight.
You want to know just how well the shooting luck is going for the Cougars tonight. They're shooting 31.8% from the field. That's not a great stat line.
Not really, no.
But 6 of those shots are three-pointers.
Well,
so you'll take that.
Oh, yeah.
That gives you a lot of points, especially in a game where the other team's struggling to score. So it's working out for the Cougars. If you can hit those shots from 3, you'll take that poor shooting line. Now Guerrero swinging over to Senfner. Senfner thought about it. Now she'll just get it to Berg. Berg into the paint to Norby. Gets it to Guerrero. Guerrero shot up and in. Vivian Guerrero is someone you're going to have to watch. Her and Callie Norby, the 2 big men on this Edgewood team that we haven't seen have a big presence in the paint. It hasn't been a game-changing presence so far tonight. It's a presence that could be what gets Edgewood back into this match.
Yeah, Norby's got 0 points. Guerrero's got 6, but if they can get going, then Concordia will be in.
McGregor just throws that shot up and in.
Hey, you got to do what you got to do. And if McGregor just had to almost discus launch it in, that's what she did.
Berg gets it into Norby. Norby looking to the corner. 3 from Nortier in. Jaden Nortier gets her first 3 to fall on the night. And the Cougars now only lead by 8. Edgewood managing to keep pace at that 10-point deficit. Halftime out called by head coach Lauren Martin of the Cougars, looking to keep that large lead of CUC. And no lead is ever safe in college basketball, and that goes doubly so for the Cougars. This is a team that across its men's and women's team has had a fair share of blown leads. You go back to the U Chicago game with this women's team back in 2024 in December. That's a game the Cougars had a 4-point lead with, I think, 13 seconds left on the clock. Ended up losing that game in overtime. The men's basketball team struggling to hold leads late this season as well. So late leads, not the most big leads, especially early in games, are far from the most comfortable thing in the world for Cougar fans. But it's better than not leading at this point in the game. 5:42 left in the first half. Cougars lead 26-18, and they have possession. Lopez bringing it down court for CUC. Reed getting it to Southern. Southern to Lopez. Lopez swinging to Reed in the corner. Now Reed looking for somewhere to go. Just chucks it over to Kulig. Now Kulig into Lopez at the mid-range. She'll get it back out to Southern. Southern now moving in on the baseline. 5 left on the shot clock. Kulig driving in, has some space, puts it up hard off the backboard, rebounded by Guerrero. Senfner pushing the pace right back the other way. Carlquist to Guerrero, over to Senfner. 3, no good, rebounded by McGregor.
That one went in and out, and that ball is just a little bit of a turn the other way from making this a 5-point game.
Lopez to Southern to Kulig. Kulig slinging it into McGregor. McGregor out to Southern. Over to Reed. And Reed almost gets the cross up. She'll just step up for a 3. No good. Rebounded by Guerrero.
Yeah, that deep 3 was just out of necessity to avoid the shot clock violation.
Carlquist, mid-range floater in. down to a 6-point deficit for the Eagles.
Concordia's got to keep scoring if they want to maintain this lead, because Edgewood seems to have found their shot-making flow now.
Reed will be fouled out on the perimeter by Carlquist. That's Carlquist's first foul of the night. That'll be on the floor. And one problem you're kind of running into in this most recent stretch of offense possessions for the Cougars, and they kind of fixed it with Michaela Ellis being back out on the court. The only player who's out on the court in a combination of Reed, Lopez, McGregor, Southern, Kulig that you would have circled if you're going up against the Cougars is Reed. None of those other players are players you circle as scoring threats, so it's pretty easy to narrow down your defense and cover a specific player. Now you have a couple other threats out there, Ellis, Hinton, Henry, that help to diversify that, but that's something the Cougars have struggled with on the season as Lopez, mid-range floater, no good, rebounded by Carlquist.
Yeah, like you said, if the other team has one key playmaker, then it's easy to just have your defense be stop that person.
Sempner thought about a three off of the loose ball, just now get chucked into Nordier. Short shot, miss. Shot you can't miss is miss. So now Cougars will take back possession. Lopez over to Reed, back to Lopez, back to Ellis.
And Concordia's got a scoring drought of a little over 2 minutes here, so they're hoping to break that right now on this possession.
Ellis, long two. Short rebound by Guerrero. Guerrero gets that to Sempner. Sempner slings it into Carlquist. Carlquist into the paint to Guerrero. Guerrero out to Sempner. Three. That one splashed. Kenzie Sempner makes it a one-possession game.
And this 11-point Concordia lead has just crumbled now. They're 0 for 4 from the last 4 shots. Haven't scored in about 3 minutes. They got to get something going here to hold on to this lead.
Reed over to Ellis. Ellis trying to do something, moves in, and an obvious travel from Michaela Ellis is another turnover for CUC, actually just their first of the second quarter, but it's another fruitless possession for the Cougars. And Edgewood will take possession back with a chance to tie early here within the first half.
Yeah, like you said, not only is it a turnover, it's a turnover at one of the more worst possible times you could have. As Edgewood's going on an 8-0 run, you want to score here to try to break their momentum. Turning the ball over just gives them another chance to tie the game.
Sempner gets it to Mack. Mack over to Nortier. Nortier driving in, floater. Rings around, backboard, and finally in for Jaden Nortier. Makes it a 1-point game.
Edgewood's going on a 10-0 run in the last 3 minutes. Concordia just not able to get any of their shots to fall.
Reed to Hinton Henry. Hinton Henry looking to go somewhere. And that's a steal. Jordan Carlquist with a pickpocket. Working on Reed. Driving in. Shot up. No good. Rebounded by Norby. And Edgewood has the lead. The Eagles on a storming 12-0 run. Make it a 27-26 game.
The first shot for Edgewood didn't fall, but Norby got the rebound, and she was able to throw that one right back up and give her team the lead with a little under 2 minutes here left in the second quarter.
And the Cougars very much on the back foot. Lopez has that ball knocked out of bounds. And it'll retain Cougars possession. Southern heads over to the sideline to inbound. Southern gets it into Reed.
Everything was going Concordia's way for the first roughly 15 minutes of the game, but in the last 5, it's been hard for them to do pretty much anything offensively.
Southern trying to do something with it into Ellis. 2 seconds left on the shot clock. Ellis doesn't realize it. And a big lapse in court awareness from Michaela Ellis as she yells at her team for not letting her know about the shot clock is another turnover.
Yeah, Concordia's just kind of unraveled a little bit here in the last few minutes as Edgewood has been able to pick up steam.
Nordier gets it to Carlquist. Carlquist working the perimeter. Now Carlquist a three, and that is no good, and that bounces off the score clock. And that will count as out of bounds, so the Cougars will take possession.
Concordia hasn't scored in the last almost 5 minutes. This possession here, they got to figure out how to break through this Edgewood defense and get a shot to fall and go in. Otherwise, I'll just give Edgewood all the momentum heading into halftime.
Reed taking the ball down under a minute to go, trailing by 1. Slinging it to Nimsicont. Nimsicont working in, and she will get tagged with an offensive foul that goes on Grace King for an illegal screen. Another turnover for CUC. And Edgewood will take possession back. Another chance to extend their lead. 45 seconds left in the half. Berg gets it to Carlquist in the corner. Carlquist looking for somewhere to go. Gives it to Guerrero on the baseline. Back out to Carlquist. Now Mack in the paint. Shot up and no good. Rebounded by Schneider. Now King bringing it down the near sideline. Gets it to Reed.
About 2-second difference here between the shot clock and game clock. So Concordia won't be able to hold for the final shot, but if they do decide to hold, it'll give Edgewood very little time to get one of their own off.
Reed calls the play. 10 seconds left. Reed drives in. Schneider for 3, and that is off the left of the backboard. Not the play the Cougars drew up. And Senfner's half-court shot off the front of the rim. And that's how the half will end, with the Cougars on a 6-minute exactly scoring drought to close out the first half. And after getting up to an 11-point lead, the Cougars trail by 1. It's Edgewood 27-26 on the heels of a 12-0 run as these teams head to the locker room and catch a break. We'll also take a break here at the Cougar Sports Network, and we will be back in after the halftime for more Cougar basketball action.
Hey y'all, January 24th we will be competing in our last CIT event, so please come support your women.
CUC nursing student and choose to stand tall for healing at a university that places Christ at the center and embraces teaching students to live a life fulfilled by purpose and meaning. Concordia University Chicago's new Bachelor of Science in Nursing degree is an innovative and rigorous 4-year program that will prepare you to rise to the daily challenges of a rewarding nursing career and serve a greater cause. Our newly built modern simulation center features 4 distinct spaces, a skills attainment lab, multi-specialty intensive care spaces, a health assessment learning center, and a simulated home environment. Due to our close proximity to many world-class teaching hospitals, CUC's clinical rotations offer an abundance of diverse and real-world experiences. Learn more about earning your BSN at a Christ-centered university today.
And welcome back to Geisman Gymnasium here in River Forest at Concordia University, Chicago for half number 2 of today's matchup between the Concordia Chicago Cougars and the Edgewood College Eagles. CUC leading by as many as 11 points in the first half, but they head into the second half trailing. It's Edgewood on top right now, 27-26. The Cougars on what is still a current 6-minute and running scoring drought. And that turn, which is a 12-0 run for Edgewood, is really encapsulated by a couple key stats that you can see shifting from the first half to the second half, Eric.
Yeah, one of the big ones was in the first quarter, Concordia had almost no turnovers. They had 1. Second quarter, they had 4 in the last 6 minutes.
And so those turnovers, also the shooting. Edgewood shooting 50% from the field in that second half, 50% from 3. The Cougars shooting 23% from the field, 25% from 3. The problem on the game as a whole for the Cougars, they're shooting 60% from 3. They're 6 for 10, but they're 29% overall. They're 8 for 28 from the field. They haven't been hitting anything inside of the perimeter. If you're going to have a big day from 3, you would need at least a decent day inside the paint to supplement that, and you're not. The Cougars aren't getting that. They're having a bad day.
Yeah, and that shows that Norby and Guerrero, the 2 6-footers for Edgewood, have been doing a good job at essentially locking up the paint.
And that was the biggest concern, that size advantage that Edgewood has, and it comes up big there. Callie Norby strikes first in the second quarter, in the second half.
She hasn't been a big factor offensively yet tonight, but she has been a big defensive presence against the Cougars.
Now Kalia Reed working towards the far sideline, swinging to McGregor. To Southern. Southern back to McGregor, back to Lopez. Shot clock under 10. Lopez has to just sling it to Southern. 5 left. Lopez across the Reed. 3. No good. Rebound Norby.
And again, Edgewood there was able to shut down the paint and make it so the Concordia had to just run around until they had to shoot a desperation 3 to avoid the shot clock violation.
Now Norby paint, another 2 for Callie Norby. She's heating up in the second half, and Lauren Martin will call a half timeout and just try and get a break in play and get her team a chance to get it together early before the Cougars fall too far behind.
Yeah, we're only 64 seconds into the second half, but Coach Martin's like, listen, we got to slow down. We got to take a breath. We're only down by 5, but we cannot let them go on a run because when they start hitting their shots, they are dangerous. We need to keep the pace at the side that we want it, and we also need to turn around and hit our shots.
It's now at a scoring drought that's extended to an accumulative 7 minutes and 4 seconds of game time, and a 15-0 and a 16-0 run in favor of Edgewood. And that paint play, which was a big shift late in that second quarter, is still coming up big for Edgewood in this second half. As Southern heads down, she will inbound the ball to Hannah Lopez for the Cougars to restart the half.
Concordia got lucky. In the first quarter, Edgewood's plan seemed to just be chuck up 3s. They shot 9 of them and missed all of them. In the second quarter, they were like, all right, we're going to get to the paint.
McGregor working in the paint, just chucks it up. No good. Rebounded by Guerrero. Now Carlquist driving in, and she'll get tagged with a travel. 1 too many pumps as she looked for a pass.
Concordia with a little bit of a break there. Edgewood was moving right down the court.
Southern on the perimeter. Gets it to Reed. Reed looking for somewhere to go. Driving in. Slings out to Lopez. Now Lopez will get it out to Ellis. Ellis back over to Reed. Reed driving baseline, looking to get over Guerrero, and she does. Little floater breaks the drought.
Concordia finally able to stop the bleeding, get some points on the board for the first time in 8 minutes of gameplay.
Semford's 3, no good. Rebounded by McGregor on the chase down. So the Cougars will get a chance to add on to that 2-point swing, and they will. Another floater for Kalia Reed, and it's back within 1.
She's been getting going the last 2 possessions. They're going to need that from her tonight if they want to make this 1-point game into a lead.
Berg on the perimeter. Getting it in Norby. Norby working on McGregor. Beats her easily in for 2.
And again, when you're 6 feet tall, you got a wide wingspan. You can just reach up and tap those off the glass if you're Norby or Guerrero.
Over to Lopez, down to Reed. Back up to Southern, into McGregor. McGregor out to Ellis. Ellis, 3. No good, rebounded by Senfer.
It was a good look, but unfortunately the bounce did not fall Ellis's way.
Berg charging in, throws it up and in. Ava Berg's first points on her first shot of the night, and it's back to a 5-point lead.
And Edgewood's done a really good job of kind of sharing the love. They only have 3 players that have had minutes tonight that have not scored yet.
McGregor out to Reed. Reed slings to Lopez in the corner. Lopez looking for somewhere to go. Back out to Reed. Straight away 3. No good. Rebounded by Senfer.
Just a little bit to the right and off the side of the rim.
Berg to Sefner. To Guerrero, who loses it. And it's off the hands of Reed, out of bounds. Guerrero didn't realize Reed had touched it, so Edgewood catches a break.
Yeah, Guerrero thought it was off her. She was starting to walk down to her defensive side of the court.
Berg inbounds to Carlquist. Carlquist driving in. Floater, no good. Well short. May have been tipped by Ellis.
Yeah, I think Ellis got a finger on it from this point of view.
Ellis bringing it down court. Mid-range jumper. Long, no good. McGregor on the putback, no good. And Berg bringing it down the court. Just chucks that to Carlquist, and it's out of bounds. Cougar ball. Southern tapped it, but then Carlquist tapped it. And so you see you have a chance to get back on the board.
You know, despite CUC's, I guess you could say, offense not going the way they've wanted recently in this game, they're still only down 5. This is still very much anyone's game. They are still in this. They got plenty of time left to make just a 5-point comeback.
Lopez running point, swinging to Reed. Reed loses the ball. It's going to be called a kickball on Berg. There will be a restart of possession for CUC. King will inbound. And she'll send that in to Reed. Reed bringing it down, going to work on Ava Berg. Double teamed on the perimeter and stolen by Berg. There's 2 men and no one. Guerrero layup and easily in. A turnover and a fast break score for Edgewood.
That was a beautiful double team play by Edgewood to get Guerrero the bucket to put them up 7.
Southern back to Reed. Back over to Southern. Slings it into McGregor. Short shot and in. Allie McGregor back up on the board.
She started hot this game, went into a little bit of a slump, but got some points that'll hopefully break her slump.
Berg over to Nordier. Slinging in for Guerrero, but snapped away by Reed. That's another turnover, another steal for the Cougars. Lopez slings that into McGregor, working on Guerrero. Puts it up, blocked, puts it up again, blocked again! 2 in a row for Vivian Guerrero.
It's one of the difficulties you find when you're trying to drive the paint on a 6-footer. She can just reject it right back at you.
Nordier slinging to Norby. Norby's short shot easily in.
Again, the height advantage paying off dividends for Edgewood. Potentially just a 4-point swing, stopping the 2 from CUC and getting 2 of their own.
Lopez looking for an option, just swings it to King. King, bounce pass into McGregor, slinging out to Lopez. Corner 3. No good. Rebounded by Southern. Back out to Lopez, over to Reed. Reed over to Lopez. Into the paint to McGregor, working on Guerrero. She'll send it out for King, who'll shoot a straightaway 3 short of the rim. And King will collect her own rebound beyond the perimeter and then draw a foul on Callie Norby.
And one thing that Concordia has been doing well this game, offensive rebounding. They have now, I believe, 8 offensive rebounds compared to the 0 that they had last game. So they've been able to create second chance opportunities for themselves.
King will inbound. She'll get it into Lopez. Lopez working on Carlquist. Sends it over to Ellis. Ellis driving in, spinning, floater, and in. Michaela Ellis back on the board for CUC. Berg swing to Norby, swing to Carlquist. Nordier in the corner, thought about it. She'll move in. Passes it off to Gunderson. Gunderson back out to Nordier. 3, no good. And that's a loose ball on the ground. Berg has it. And that is eventually called a jump ball. That'll be Cougar possession.
Berg was grabbing onto it. There were several Cougars grabbing onto it. And in the end, it just ended up being a jump ball, which works out very well for CUC.
King will inbound. She'll send that to Lopez. Ellis spots up. And no good. Rebounded by Carlquist. She'll sling that over to Nortier for a 3. No good. Loose ball rebounded by Kulig, and Kulig will push the pace. Driving straight in. And tagged with a charge. Kulig was going to try and draw a foul. And just ran straight through Jordan Carlquist. Kulig unhappy with the call. Very unhappy with the call.
She thought that she had done a successful job of drawing the foul. Unfortunately, referee saw otherwise.
And it's something you see a lot with this Cougars team, initiating contact on offense and playing into the foul. Sometimes the officials will grant you that. Sometimes it works, but a lot of that does depend on the official. And these officials have been tough on that so far tonight.
Yeah, it's been a relatively clean game in terms of just fouls. Only 9 fouls total between the two teams in about 27 and a half minutes of play.
Ellis from 3. Good! What a play from Kalia Reed to Michaela Ellis. A beautiful assist and shot from downtown, and the Cougars back within 2.
That was a gorgeous assist by Reed to create the Ellis 3. And like you said, Concordia still only down by 2.
And Hack will silence the momentum as much as he can. Easy 2 in the paint. Now Ellis back on the perimeter. She'll swing that to King, swinging it to Reed. Reed driving baseline floater. No good. And she will be able to draw the blocking call.
Look like it's going to be on Wallen, I believe.
So the Cougars effectively able to draw a foul that time, and that will send Reed to the line.
Cougars are only taking 4 free throws tonight. This will be 5 and 6. And number 5 does not go in, breaking their 4-for-4 streak.
And the second one, no good as well. No points on that trip for the Cougars. Carlquist bringing the ball, getting it to Hack. Out to Wallen. Wallen down into the corner to Nordier. Nordier looking for somewhere to go. Gets it to Gunderson. Now Gunderson thought about the mid-range jumper. Gets it to Carlquist. Carlquist from the free throw line and in.
Carlquist was able to beat Reed there and just set up a nice and easy shot from the charity stripe.
Reed sends that to King into the corner to Nimsicant. Nimsicant back to King, back to Kulig. Kulig trying to get into the paint. That's called a kick ball on Kate Gunderson. Gunderson smiling. I mean, and Gunderson didn't even have to try for the kick ball that time. Just passed into her foot that didn't move. And the Cougars will catch a break with that. King will inbound.
Cougars just down by 2, but this Edgewood team got it back into a 6-point lead quickly.
Pass into the paint to Ellis, back out to Reed. Now Reed will drive, gets it back out to Ellis. 3. That one well short, and Aggie swish through the front of the net. Straight out of bounds.
She had a good look for that three. Unfortunately, she didn't put nearly enough behind it. Less than a minute here to go in the third quarter. Coach Martin making some changes for the last stretch here.
Carlquist will bring the ball down court. Gets it to Wallen. Wallen to Hack, over to Carlquist. Carlquist at the top of the key, driving in, out to Gunderson. Mid-range shot, no good. A rebound lost by Hack, still loose. Ellis able to pick it up under 30 seconds to go in the quarter. Ellis bring the ball down court.
Kayla Ellis and Concordia can hold for the last shot if they so choose. 15 seconds left here.
And they will do so, setting up that final play. McGregor and Hinton Henry come high. Ellis looking to do it all herself. Driving in, floater, no good. Rebounded by Gunderson. And that's how the quarter will end. Another productive quarter for Edgewood. They now lead by 6 after 3, and the Cougars still very much within reach. Will attempt to pull off a late comeback here in the fourth quarter. As these two teams take a break, we'll take a break here as well on the Cougar Sports Network. We'll be back in just a moment for more Cougar basketball.
Hi Cougar Nation, don't forget to come out and support our cheer, dance, and basketball team at CIT this weekend. We hope to see you there. Let's go ahead and show our colors. Go Cougars!
Welcome back to River Forest here on the Cougar Sports Network. Edgewood leads 43-37 as we get ready for the final quarter of play here on Wednesday night. Cougars, another poor quarter of shooting in quarter number 3, 27.8% from the field, 14% from 3. A lot of that shooting being buoyed by that strong first quarter.
Yeah, shot 27% in the third quarter. Does not help when the other team shoots 57%.
Norby slinging out to Seffner for 3, and Seffner splashes it. She's heated up in the last couple of quarters, and that makes it a 9-point lead.
Senfer got a beautiful shot and was nothing but net on that 3.
McGregor tries to get it to Reed, and the two players miscommunicate. Reed able to save it. The loose ball is grabbed by Berg. So Edgewood will try and take advantage of the messy play. Carlquist gets it to Berg. Berg looking for somewhere to go. Gets it to Seffner. Now Seffner driving in, out to Guerrero. Long 2 and in. Vivian Guerrero, another bucket, and that puts her up to 13 on the night.
That gives Edgewood their first double-digit lead tonight.
Reed to Nimskant. Nimskant driving, throwing it up and tries to draw a foul. Doesn't, and the putback from McGregor is good. Allie McGregor up to 9 on the night. There's a long pass to Norby. Norby's shot no good. Rebounded by Carlquist. Carlquist gets it out to Seffner.
Norby waited out Hinton Henry, but then the ensuing layup did not fall.
Now Berg from 3. No good. Rebounded by Seffner at the three-point line.
Edgewood's going to get a third chance opportunity here.
And Guerrero able to draw a foul on Allie McGregor. That'll stay on the floor. Edgewood another chance. Vivian Guerrero on double-double watch, 1 rebound away from securing her second straight double-double. Here's a long 3 from Carlquist, no good, rebounded by Berg. Seffner for 3. That one no good, that's rebounded by Ellis.
Concordia and Ellis, they're finally managing to break up the offensive rebounding streak that Edgewood had going.
Lopez to Ellis. Ellis gets that down to McGregor, working on in the paint. Shot up and blocked by Guerrero.
Again, that's what having a 6-footer on your team can do for you, and Edgewood's got 2 of them.
Norby looking for somewhere to go. Guerrero, long 2 again, and in again.
Guerrero has been on fire the last 2 possessions.
The Cougars not defending Guerrero tightly at range. She has been making them pay. It's now an 11-point lead.
Yeah, she's the leading scorer for Edgewood tonight. You got to clamp down on her defensively to make sure she can't get shots up.
Reed moving in, mid-range floater, no good. Reed gets the rebound, and that one goes in. And the Cougars crack 40. It's back to a 9-point game.
Cougars need more shots like that if they want to claw their way back into this game, and they need some defensive stops.
Norby to Carlquist, over to Berg. Berg looking for Norby. Seffner's there to pick up the messy pass. That long pass to Berg, over to Seffner. Seffner gets that into Guerrero. 5 left on the shot clock. Carlquist corner, no good. Rebounded by Lopez.
Guerrero took a swipe at a Lopez dribble.
Long pass from Lopez, intercepted by Seffner. She'll slow it down. Thought about a 3. Instead tries to sling it to Berg, and that's out of bounds off of Berg. And I'm not too sure why Seffner didn't just spot up for the 3.
I don't know either, Jonathan. She had a pretty good look on that one. I don't know why she chose to pass instead of taking the 3 ball.
Lopez over to Reed. Reed back to Ellis. Southern to Lopez to Reed. Cougars working the perimeter, trying to find a way to crack in. 8 seconds left on the shot clock. Reed double teamed again, loses the ball. Southern has it. 2 seconds left. Ellis just has to chuck it up. And that's a shot clock reset. Lopez gets the rebound, and the Cougars manage to salvage that possession.
Very odd chain of events there, but hey, Concordia came away from it with 2 points.
Nordier over to Berg. Berg gets it into Guerrero, into Norby. Norby shot up and in.
Norby just worked her way into the paint there and answered that CUC layup with one of her own.
Reed charging in, floater, and 1 for Kalia Reed. Gets the hoop and the harm, and she'll head to the line to try and make this a 6-point game.
Nice play by Reed there to draw the foul and make the shot. She hits this free throw. It'll still only be a 2-possession game.
Reed's shot up and off the back of the rim. Rebounded by Nordier.
Michaela Ellis fought for that rebound, but when you're going against 2 6-footers, odds aren't that great.
Berg, Norby into Guerrero. Guerrero working on McGregor, puts it up and in. Guerrero now up to 17 on the night. Lopez, she'll bring that in, lay it off to Reed. Reed trying to get it to Ellis and just tries to force it there. And then another bad pass. The Cougars take possession back. Lopez working baseline, back out to Reed. Reed, 3. No good. Rebounded by Seffner.
Concordia turned it over, then Edgewood turned it over, then Concordia got it back, but ultimately the three did not land.
Coach Vivian will call his first timeout of the half. Full timeout for the Eagles as these teams take a break down on the court. We'll take a break here at the Cougar Sports Network. Edgewood leads by 9. We'll be back in just a moment. Welcome back to Geisman Gymnasium here at Concordia University, Chicago. Cougars trail by 9 with 4.5 left in the quarter. Coach Vivian getting upset as the Cougars, the team that didn't call the timeout, overstayed their welcome.
Edgewood looking to build this 9-point lead, presumably.
Nordier in the paint, easy two. And they do build that 9-point lead to an 11-pointer.
Yes, they do. I'll say presumably in the timeout, Coach Vivian was telling his team, listen, 4.5 minutes left. This is how we're going to close this game out and get ourselves the win.
Ellis bringing it around the perimeter. He's trying to sling into Southern, who loses it. It's taken by Nortier, bringing it down quickly, sends it to Norby. Norby, hard foul from Ellis. And she'll head to the line for 2.
Not a whole lot of free throws being shot by Edgewood tonight. In fact, they've only taken 4 the entire game, so this will be numbers 5 and 6, and Norby's first 2 of the game coming up here. So far, they're 4 for 4 on the night.
Shot up and in, makes it a 12-point game. And that'll be a 13-point game, 2-for-2 trip for Callie Norby. Edgewood remains perfect from the free throw line on the night. Ellis, long 2 and in.
Good work by Ellis to hit that contested deep 2-point shot.
Nortier on the far sideline gets it to Guerrero. Guerrero driving on McGregor, shot up and well short, rebounded by Ellis.
Yeah, Guerrero was kind of going for like a weird reach shot with that, but couldn't get it.
Ellis spot up 3 and in. Michaela Ellis, 5 points on straight possessions. 8-point lead now.
She's the first player on either team to hit 20 points tonight.
Berg slinging to Nortier. Nortier out to Norby, over to Sefner. Under 10 left on the shot clock. Guerrero working in, shot up and in. Vivian Guerrero up to 19 on the night.
Guerrero almost had a little bit of a hook shot there, but she was able to get it right through the net and get 2 points.
Ellis for 3. And in again, Michaela Ellis. Another 3, keeping this game within reach.
She has the last 8 Concordia points.
Berg's shot no good, rebounded by Lopez. 7-point deficit. Lopez bringing it down, laying it to Ellis. Heat check. And in! Michaela Ellis! 3, and the Cougars are within 4.
Wow. Coming out of that Vivian timeout, Edgewood was up 13. Now they're only up 4. Oh. That double-digit lead has evaporated.
Guerrero working from the perimeter, laying it to Seffner. Over to Norby, over to Nortier. Under 10 on the shot clock. Nortier driving in, slinging it into Burke. Shot up and in. And that stops the 6-0 run. Momentum still very much on the Cougars bench as they trail by 6. Lopez bringing it down court. She'll send that to Ellis. Ellis working to the right, heavily covered by Guerrero. Driving in, easy layup and a miss. Just too much on it. And a frustration foul on the back end from Allie McGregor.
Ellis she was really feeling it there, and unfortunately she put a little bit too much mustard on that layup attempt.
That makes it a double-double for Vivian Guerrero, her 10th rebound, second straight double-double, and 7th double-double on the season. 19 points, 10 rebounds so far.
She was sitting on 9 rebounds for about 4 or 5 minutes. We almost thought she wouldn't get it.
She was sitting on 9 rebounds for that whole fourth quarter. Finally broke through. Leading by 6. Carlquist bringing down. Cougars upping the intensity with the press. Minute 20 to go. Seffner on the far sideline gets it to Guerrero. Over to Nortier. Nortier driving, gets it to Guerrero. Another 2. Breaks 20, 21 on the night for Guerrero. And back to an 8-point lead. Now Ellis driving in, mid-range jumper, and in. That's going to prompt a timeout from Coach Vivian. His team still leads by 6, but it's getting a bit spicy out here in Geisman Gymnasium. Cougars on a heater, and Michaela Ellis up to 28 points.
She has been on fire in this last few minute stretch. She had 3 threes in a row, pair of layups there. She's almost at 30 points on the night. And if you're Coach Vivian, you're like, hey, this is a 2-possession game. Even though there's less than a minute left, there is still a chance that Concordia can get back and tie this one up.
Ellis, 28 points, 6 made threes, 10 shots made from the field, 2 for 2 from the free throw line. And Vivian Guerrero trying to bring in the clutch on her own end of the court, up to 21 points on the night. And of note, Guerrero 1 for 1 from 3 tonight. She was 1 for 1 from 3 last time out. Hadn't made a 3 all season before that Lakeland game. She's now made 2. But under a minute to go, she'll just look to help her team close out this win. And Southern immediately fouls Nortier. And it looks like the Cougars might just be trying to burn their way into the bonus early.
Does seem to be the strategy based off that quick 1 second long possession.
Guerrero gets it to Seffner, and there's a foul immediately from Reed. So that will put Edgewood into the bonus. Seffner will head to the line. And what's dangerous about this for the Cougars, Edgewood yet to miss a free throw of the night. They've only had 3 trips.
Yeah.
But they are flawless, 6 for 6.
Yeah, so that is the risk you run with purposeful fouls. You can get the ball back, and they might not hit their free throws, but if they do hit the free throws, they're just going to grow the lead.
That perfect average is not their season average. They're
Nope.
66% on the season, actually worse than the Cougars' season average. But Seffner will keep it perfect on the night with that free throw. Makes it a 7-point game. 8-point game. That'll make it that makes it an 8-point game. 66-58, and Coach Martin will call another timeout for CUC.
Figuring out, hey, listen, we're down 3 possessions here with 53 seconds left. At this point, Jonathan, do you just feed the ball to Ellis and trust her to drain some threes?
I think that's a strategy. You need to score a lot, and you need to score quickly, and I think that's kind of what the Cougars are planning on, because that's actually been working.
Yeah.
It's not a desperation strategy. Ellis is hot right now, so you just need to get possession and get her the ball. The problem, they haven't been getting possession in the last few minutes. They will have possession coming out of this timeout as they trail by 8. I mean, it's kind of frustrating. You start shooting the best you have all night, and Edgewood responds by shooting incredibly well themselves. Cougars 5 for their last 6, Edgewood 6 for their last 8.
Yeah. And that's the thing, when you shoot great, as long as the other team can shoot roughly on par with that, you can't make up any ground.
Cougars will take possession on the far sideline on their own end of the court.
Ellis is going to inbounds the ball. See if her team can somehow come back.
Ellis inbounds to Nimsicant. Ellis now working on Norby on the perimeter. Ellis driving in, kicking out to Lopez. Lopez long two, well over the rim. Rebounded by Berg. And Lopez will foul Carlquist. That'll send Carlquist to the line.
And if Carlquist can knock these 2 free throws, keep Edgewood's free throw percentage at a perfect 100%, that might spell the end for the Cougars here tonight.
First free throw, it rings in and out. First missed free throw on the night.
Edgewood will not achieve free throw perfection.
Carlquist will try and make it a 1-for-2 trip. Shots up, and that one's in. 1-for-2 trip for Jordan Carlquist, and it's an immediate timeout called by Coach Martin.
Yeah, that's made free throw by Carlquist, makes this a full 3-possession game. Cougs would need 3 threes and no points by Edgewood to tie this game, and with 38 seconds left, doesn't really seem attainable.
Coach Martin is drawing up a timeout, playing for this team straight out of the timeout. Edgewood just needs to keep playing like they've been playing, and they should close this match out.
Unless Concordia can get a Tracy McGrady-type performance out of Ellis or any of their players in the last 38 seconds, I have a feeling that Edgewood will indeed go home the victors.
Nimsicant will inbound. Ellis bringing her near the perimeter. That's inbounded to Reed. Reed working the perimeter. Over to McGregor. McGregor for 3. No good. Rebounded by Nimsicant. Out to Reed. Reed straight away 3. That one's in. Immediate timeout by Cole Vivian. That'll be a half timeout for Edgewood. They'll look to draw up their own play and likely drain as much clock as you can before you're fouled.
Yeah, you want to keep the ball moving so that Concordia doesn't have a quick chance to foul. If you can get a few passes off, that'll get this clock below 20, 21 seconds, and then send them to the line. Edgewood's almost perfect tonight, 9 for 10 from the charity stripe, and so you can trust that they will probably hit their shots and maintain this lead.
And the Cougars honestly hoping for Edgewood to regress to their average with those free throws. It'll be Wallen 2 inbounds.
Best case scenario for the Cougars here is they somehow get a 5-second violation, that we get the ball back without having to waste any time.
Wallen inbounds to Carlquist, and Carlquist finally fouled by Hannah Lopez. 25 seconds left on the game clock, and Carlquist will head to the line. Carlquist on the season, an 81% free throw shooter, the best free throw shooter of the standard rotation players for this Edgewood squad.
Yeah, it was a good plan by Coach Vivian to get Carlquist the ball, because if you're going to hack a Shack, she is not the Shack that you want to hack.
Guerrero's shot up and in. First one made, makes it a 7-point game. If there's a Shack you want to hack on this Edgewood squad, it's probably Vivian Guerrero, who's been shooting 63% from the free throw line on the season. The difference is that shot's made, makes it an 8-point game. you're not going to – those balls aren't going to go into Guerrero.
No.
Lauren Martin calling a full timeout for CUC, and we were just talking about it. I think somewhere in the 4-minute mark during an Edgewood timeout, this game had gone by really quickly, and there's a couple reasons for that. Not a lot of fouls, not a lot of stoppages of play, not a lot of timeouts. This game has really added on to that length here in the last stretch as both of these teams giving it their all in the final minute.
Yeah, in the first roughly hour and 12 minutes, which included halftime and all the pregame stuff, we had played about 36 minutes of basketball. In the last 16 minutes, we have played roughly 3.5. So this game has ground to a halt.
And, I mean, this is what happens in those close games in basketball. Not a traditionally close game.
No.
Cougars were able to bring it within 4, but for the last minute or so, it's been around a 6, 7, 8-point game. The Cougars have been putting up a fight. They've been scoring, but Edgewood has been able to score in response and keep that gap.
Yeah, Concordia has refused to go quietly into the night, but at this point it might be too little too late, especially as Edgewood keeps hitting their free throws.
Nemscont will inbound. She'll get that into Reed. Reed has to do something quickly. She'll drive in, and she is stripped by Callie Norby. That's out of bounds. That's Edgewood ball. Southern quickly subbed in for Nemscont.
Lucky for Edgewood, it just rolled straight through the legs of Berg. It didn't bounce off either of her feet at all.
And there's going to be a halftime out called by Cole Vivian. He'll get his team's play drawn up.
Like you said, probably telling them, hey, we got to make sure to get the quick passes off, spread the ball around so that we can burn as much time off the clock before they foul. Again, 20 seconds left, 8-point lead. You're not super worried about blowing this game, but still, you want to make sure that you can burn the clock.
And the goal is going to be to get this ball into Carlquist.
Oh, yeah, 100%.
And that'll do it on the timeout. Cole Vivian's team heads back out onto the court. It'll be Wallen to inbound. You see Carlquist down on the near side of the paint. That team taking their 4 corners formation. Cougars head back out. It's Ellis marked on the Carlquist. Looks to Seffner, and that's a loose ball. Seffner gets that down to Nortier. Nortier finally fouled by Reed. All of that chaos will draw 7 seconds off the clock.
Honestly, considering that they didn't turn the ball over, it worked out pretty well for Edgewood there.
I mean, that's exactly what you want to work out. Maybe it's not the player you intended to be taking the free throws, but you get the free throws and you take off 7 seconds as well. Wallen's first shot, no good.
Yeah, now we're looking at an 8-point lead, maybe 9-point lead with 13 seconds left. Will be a 9-point lead with 13 seconds left. You're saying, hey, this team is probably not getting 3 threes in the last 13 seconds without us getting a single point.
Cougars need to average a 3 about every 4.4 seconds without Edgewood scoring a bucket. Reed bringing it down court quickly. Gets it over to McGregor, out to Ellis. Ellis brings it up to the line, over to McGregor. Over to Nemscont. Long 3 to close out the game. No good. Rebounded by Guerrero, and that'll do it. Edgewood survives a late Cougar push and wins this one 70-61. And despite their efforts at the end of the game, the Cougars will head to the handshake line to the tune of Drops of Jupiter once more here in Geisman Gymnasium as they extend their losing streak to 11 games. Edgewood picks up another win. That moves them up to 5-2 in conference. A solid season continues.
Oh, yeah.
For the Eagles and for Vivian Guerrero. Another double-double for Guerrero. 21 points, 11 rebounds on the night. And the Cougars, an electric fourth quarter of play. 24 points in the fourth quarter. Still outplayed by Edgewood. Put up 27 points.
Yeah, Concordia gave it their best shot, but in the end, Edgewood was just able to hit their shots there, and importantly, they were able to make their free throws so that when Concordia intentionally fouled, it was fine for them. They just knocked back their free throws. and they were able to win this game.
Concordia outscored in the second, third, and fourth quarter. It was that second quarter that really hurt the Cougars, that 12-0 run after the Cougars had led by 11 at one point. Cougars started out strong today. Edgewood finishes out strong, as the Cougars also finish out strong. Edgewood plays strongest in the middle. Points leader on the night, Michaela Ellis, a free-range, pure organic 28-point game, 10 for 21 from the field, 6 for 10 from 3, 2 for 2 from the free throw line, 5 rebounds. The Cougars putting up one of their best three-point shooting performances of the season, 44% from 3 as a team.
Yeah, for a team that normally shoots 21% from 3, the fact that they were able to shoot 44% tonight, very good game. Hopefully a sign of things to come for the Cougars.
And Kalia Reed, 17 points, 3 for 8 from 3. Like we mentioned, Vivian Guerrero, she led for Edgewood, 21 points. She led both teams in rebounds with 11. Callie Norby, 14 points, 4 rebounds. Allie McGregor, one of her best games of the season, 11 points, 9 rebounds for CUC. Moving on from here, the Cougars, as they are now at an 11-point losing streak, they'll now head off to a tournament weekend. It's the Concordia Invitational Tournament this upcoming Friday and Saturday for CUC. And they'll head into a tough matchup up against Concordia, Nebraska, in the first game of that Invitational on Friday. Lakeland heads on after they take on what is currently the bottom team in the conference, the Concordia Chicago Cougars. They'll take on the only other winless team in the conference, Alverno. So Edgewood will continue what should have been an easy stretch for the Eagles. Had to work for this one here in River Forest tonight. They'll look to get that done and continue a strong conference season at Alverno this upcoming Saturday. But that'll do it here in River Forest. Edgewood takes it 70-61 over the Cougars. Double-double from Vivian Guerrero on the winning squad. Michaela Ellis, 28 points in a losing effort for the Cougars. Thank you to everyone who made this broadcast possible. Dave Dialing was our spotter tonight. Tyler Dorsch working the scoreboard. Emily Lucero and Jalen Franklin on cameras for tonight. Jess Gang and Sasha Gonzalez, our producers. Alan Mateo taking photographs. Our assistant sports information director is Corey Welch. Our sports information director is Kayla McLeod. On color tonight was Eric Perry. I'm Jonathan Shear with the Cougar Sports Network. Thank you for joining us here tonight in Geisman Gymnasium. Cougars fall 61-70. They'll move on from here to take on Concordia, Nebraska this Friday at the Concordia Invitational Tournament. But that'll do it here on Wednesday night. Cougars fall, and they'll look to get back on track this weekend. Thank you for tuning in. Make sure to join us next time on the Cougar Sports Network. And as always, roll Cougs.
Thank you so much for tuning in to today's Concordia University Chicago Cougars Athletics broadcast. We hope to see you on campus very soon. If you would like to learn more about what Concordia Chicago has to offer, go to cuchicago.edu.